Once upon a time, in a very beautiful forest, there was a lion named Rex. Rex was the king of the forest, but he was getting old and wanted to rest. He decided that another animal would become the new king or queen. For that, the animals would have to compete in many fun challenges. One day, Rex climbed onto a large rock and called all the animals. Rex, in a loud voice, "Forest friends, it's time for another animal to become the new king or queen. Tomorrow, the competitions will begin. The animal that wins will be the new leader of the forest. You must be strong, fast, and very smart." The animals listened very attentively. Among them were those who most wanted to be kings or queens. Chi-Chi the turtle was slow but very wise. Even though she moved slowly, she always knew what was best for everyone. Sally the raccoon was quick and loved playing tricks. She was always thinking about how to win with her tricks. Harold the bull and Nolan the bear were big and strong. They knew they would do well in strength competitions. Casey the cat, very elegant, thought that with her agility and cunning she could win. Earl the monkey always made others laugh with his jokes. He believed that with his speed and charm, he could win the throne. The brothers Arion and Orion, two little dogs who always worked together, thought that their teamwork would make them the best. Rex, with a smile, remember, it's not just about being strong. You also need to be smart, help others, and take care of the forest. The animals were very excited. Everyone wanted to win the competitions and be the new kings of the forest. At night, each went to their little house to think about how they could win. Be the strong Noland, or the clever Casey. Be the brothers Arion and Orion would win together. No one knew about how they could win. Be the strong Noland, or the clever Casey. Be the brothers Arion and Orion would win together. No one knew.
As the sun began to set behind the trees, the forest filled with dancing shadows and unsettling whispers. Each of the animals was in its own world, dealing with the challenges that Rex had designed.
Chi-Chi, despite her slowness, had unraveled the clues and finally found a small water source, her eyes shining with satisfaction. Meanwhile, Harold realized his shelter was a disaster when a gust of wind shook the branches. Just when he thought all was lost, a flash of ingenuity made him seek help. But looking around, he noticed some of his competitors were also in trouble.
The sky quickly darkened and a thunderous roar echoed through the forest. A storm was raging with fury. The animals ran in search of shelter, but a lightning strike briefly illuminated the sky, revealing something unsettling, a shadow moving among the trees.
Rex watched from a distance, a smile on his face, but his gaze fixed on the spot where the shadow had been seen. What was that? A challenge none of them had anticipated. The tension was rising, and as the storm raged on, intrigue filled the air. The real challenge was just beginning.
Meanwhile, Harold realized his shelter was a disaster when a gust of wind shook the branches. Just when he thought all was lost, a flash of ingenuity made him seek help. But looking around, he noticed some of his competitors were also in trouble.
The animals were sheltered under a huge tree while the storm roared. The wind made the branches creak, and the rain poured down heavily. But what worried them the most was the shadow they had seen moving between the trees. Chi-Chi, the wise turtle, was trying to light a small fire, although she was doing it calmly. Harold the bull and Nolan the bear, the strongest of the group, were alert, ready to use their strength if necessary. Casey the cat, with her elegance, settled under a dry branch, while the puppies Arion and Orion leaned on each other, always working as a team. Carl the monkey, who usually made everyone laugh, was a little quiet, observing the trees with curiosity.
Suddenly, a noise in the bushes made them all jump. It was a small furry creature with bright eyes. "Hello. I am Zira, the guardian of the wild forest," she said with a smile.
"What is that shadow we saw?" asked Sally the raccoon, always quick to think of what to do.
Zira explained that there was something mysterious in the forest, something even she had never seen before. "We have to find out what it is, but to do that, we must be brave," she said gently. As Zira spoke, the shadow appeared again. It was big and mysterious. Casey twitched her whiskers nervously, while Ariane and Orion moved closer together, ready to face it as a team.
Carl, the jokester monkey, made a funny face to try to calm the others, but this time, even he was a little scared. To win this challenge, we must face what scares us, said Zira confidently. Chi-Chi, the wise turtle, slowly nodded, and the others followed, knowing they were stronger together.
Zira led them through the forest, with the shadow moving faster ahead of them. Suddenly, the shadow stopped in a clearing. They all stared at it with fear and curiosity. Then, the shadow began to take shape, and a mysterious figure appeared. In a soft voice, it said, "This is just the beginning. The real challenge is yet to come." The group followed Zira deeper into the heart of the forest, but a thick fog began to surround them. The cold, dense air slowed their steps. Ariane and Orion, the puppies, huddled together, while Casey the cat watched anxiously. Carl, the usually playful monkey, was too nervous to joke.
Nolan the bear muttered, glancing around.
We can't rely on our sight. Let's use our other senses.
We must trust our instincts. The forest will guide us.
I can hear the wind. It's blowing east, pressing his large paws into the earth.
Trusting their senses, the group slowly made their way through the fog. Casey, with her agility, moved cautiously at the front, while Carl used his sharp sense of smell to check for danger. Finally, the fog began to lift, and they arrived at a clearing. The shadow that had been following them appeared again, but this time, it seemed less threatening. Instead, a glowing figure began to take shape.
Finally, the fog began to lift, and they arrived at a clearing. The shadow that had been following them appeared again, but this time, it seemed less threatening. Instead, a glowing figure began to take shape.
Who are you?
My mission is to prepare those who must face the challenges this place holds. And you've proven yourselves worthy.
The group, now more united than ever, readied themselves for whatever came next, knowing that as long as they were together, they could overcome any test the wild forest had in store.
Finally, the fog began to lift, and they arrived at a clearing. The shadow that had been following them appeared again, but this time, it seemed less threatening. Instead, a glowing figure began to take shape.
The group was still recovering from their encounter with the luminous figure when the forest, now clear, began to murmur. The leaves crackled and the wind whispered unintelligible words. Zira, the guardian, watched closely but seemed more cautious this time.
Do you hear that? Asked Sally the Raccoon, tilting her head. It's as if the forest is speaking to us, added Casey the cat, squinting her eyes in an attempt to decipher the message. Nolan the bear frowned, uneasy. I don't like it. The shadow. The fog. And now this. Something bigger is happening.
Suddenly, a deep, resonant voice emerged from among the trees. You have passed the first tests, but the true challenge is yet to come.
Carl the monkey jumped back in fright. Not again with the challenges. Can't it be more straightforward? The forest has a special way of guiding us. We cannot rush, we must listen. Harold the bull, always calm, closed his eyes and focused. It seems there's something beyond. Something that is calling us.
Ariane and Orion, the puppies, began to bark softly, as if they sensed the presence of something or someone. Will it be another friend or foe? Asked Ariane with concern. With cautious but determined steps, the group advanced, following the route that stretched like a living path beneath their feet. As they walked, the forest seemed to vibrate with an ancient energy, as if the entire place was awakening. With cautious but determined steps, the group advanced, following the route that stretched like a living path beneath their feet. As they walked, the forest seemed to vibrate with an ancient energy, as if the entire place was awakening.
It's here, Zira said firmly. The final test, which will reveal if you are truly ready to face the darkest secrets of the wild forest.
The group exchanged nervous glances, but they knew they could not turn back. United, they took the first step into the darkness, knowing that, although the challenge was great, their unity and trust in the forest would guide them to the end. After their encounter with the bright figure, the group kept moving, but something strange was happening. Although the forest now seemed clearer, the air was filled with mysterious sounds. The leaves crunched under their feet as if they were trying to speak, and the wind blew in a strange way, like it was trying to tell them something important.
Do you hear that? asked Sally, tilting her head, her ears alert. It's like the forest is whispering something. But I can't understand what it's saying.
Sally moved closer to Casey, hoping her friend could figure out what was going on.
Yes, I hear it too, said Casey, squinting her eyes. It's like the forest wants to tell us a big secret. But I can't figure out what it is. It's like the words are hidden in the wind.
As the group tried to understand those strange sounds, something even more incredible happened. Suddenly, a deep voice emerged from the trees, as if coming from everywhere at once.
You have passed the first tests, but the hardest part is yet to come.
Zira, the guardian of the forest, raised her hand for silence. She knew the forest had a special way of guiding those who listened carefully.
Here we go again with the tests, Carl exclaimed, crossing his arms and frowning. Always with the mysteries. Why can't it just tell us what to do already?
Zira, the guardian of the forest, raised her hand for silence. She knew the forest had a special way of guiding those who listened carefully.
The forest never speaks without reason, said Zira in a calm, firm voice. Every word it says is important. We need to listen calmly and patiently. If we rush, we might miss what the forest is trying to teach us.
Suddenly, the ground in front of them began to shift. A crack opened up right in front of their feet, and from it, a huge root emerged. The root slowly wrapped itself around the nearby trees, as if it were alive, and formed a clear path for the group to follow.
The earth will show you the way, if you have the courage to see what lies deep within.
This is the path we must follow, said Zira, pointing to the giant root. Here is our final test. We must be careful and trust the forest, but also ourselves. We will see if we are ready to face the deepest secrets the wild forest hides.
Though they felt a little afraid, they knew they couldn't turn back. Holding hands, feeling the strength of their friendship, they took the first step into the darkness, trusting that their bond and the power of the forest would guide them to the end. The group was going down the dark path that the giant root had shown them. The forest was becoming more mysterious, but they couldn't stop.
It's so dark, said Sally, feeling a little tremble in her voice. I don't know if I want to keep going. But I know we can't stop now. We've come so far. Even though I can't help it. This place makes me nervous, like something is hiding just in the shadows, waiting. I know, Sally. Casey replied, looking at her friend. I feel that strange sensation too, like the air is full of secrets. But as long as we're together, there's no darkness we can't overcome. She took Sally's hand and said, remember, we've faced tough challenges before, and we will do it again. You're not alone.
As they continued moving forward, they started to hear strange murmurs, like voices all around. The sound made their skin crawl.
The forest always speaks, if we know how to listen, Zira said. These murmurs, even though they seem confusing, are here to guide us. We must pay attention and listen closely, beyond the fear we might feel. The forest wants to show us the way, but it will only do so if we prove we are ready to understand its mysteries. She paused to emphasize. Listen with your heart, not just your ears.
One of the voices grew louder and clearer, as if it was speaking directly to them.
You have come a long way, but the hardest part is yet to come. Only your inner light will guide you to the secret you seek, and only those who trust in their own light will be able to decipher it. The voice echoed in the air. Do not forget, not everything that shines is what it seems.
Suddenly, a small light appeared in the distance, softly glowing and illuminating the path ahead of them.
Look! Exclaimed Noland. That light. It seems to be guiding us. Looking for reactions from the others, he continued. It's like the forest is showing us the right way. I don't know how, but I feel we can trust that light.
That light is our hope, Zira said. It's a sign that we are on the right path. Let's follow it, but we must do so carefully and with respect. The forest is testing us, and we cannot take anything for granted. If we follow that light with faith in ourselves and in our team, I'm sure we will reach where we need to be.
The light led them to a thin root bridge that stretched over a dark abyss. The bridge looked fragile and unreliable.
This bridge looks like it's going to break at any moment, said Arion. I don't know if it's safe. But we have no other choice, right? He leaned forward and asked. What if it can't hold our weight? Just thinking about falling gives me chills.
It's not the strength of the bridge that matters, but our Zira replied. This bridge is here to teach us something, Arion. The forest always tests us in unexpected ways. If we cross with fear, we will fail ourselves. We must trust that, as long as we walk together, we will be stronger than any obstacle. The bridge will hold us if we cross it with hearts full of courage, not doubts. Let's go, all together.
Hand in hand, they crossed the bridge, feeling the gentle tremble beneath their feet. The little light shone brighter with each step, as if giving them strength. When they reached the other side, they knew that, although the journey wasn't over, something important was about to happen. They felt the strength of their friendship and the power of the forest with them, and they were ready for what the wild forest had in store for them. They knew that together they could overcome any challenge that awaited them. After crossing the fragile bridge of roots, the friends arrived at a large opening in the ground. It was as if the forest was leading them closer and closer to its center, to its true heart. Everything around them whispered, as if the trees and plants had secrets they wanted to share, but only with those who could understand.
We have reached the heart of the forest. This is the place where everything connects, where every test and lesson we've learned will guide us. Look around. The forest seems more alive than ever because it trusts us. But it's also going to test us. This test isn't about what we can see or touch. It's something we must feel and understand. Here, it's not about being strong on the outside, but strong on the inside.
In the center of the opening, a circle of roots began to glow with a soft and calm light, like a gentle glow inviting them to approach. Around the group, the air seemed to fill with magic, and an ancient, wise voice was heard from all directions, as if the forest itself was speaking to them.
To discover the true secret of the heart of the forest, you must accept the light and darkness within you. Do not fight your fears. You must understand them, accept them, and only then will you find the answer you seek. Remember, the true light is not found outside, but inside.
Again with the fears? They always come back. Sometimes I feel like I'm too small to face them. Like at any moment, something big and dark could stop me, and no matter how hard I try, I can't shake that feeling. What if this time I can't? I don't want to let you all down, not after everything we've been through. Every step we take, the mountain seems higher.
Carry on, it's not about fighting fear. Everyone, at some point, is afraid. And it's okay to feel that way. In fact, the forest is telling us to accept that fear, not push it away. Because sometimes what scares us the most is what teaches us the most. And the most important thing is that we are not alone. We never have been. What's important isn't not being afraid, but moving forward in spite of it. And that's what we're doing. The forest trusts us, and we must trust ourselves.
Just then, the ground began to shine, and several water mirrors appeared before them. In those mirrors, the friends saw something strange, their own reflections. But they weren't normal reflections. Instead of seeing themselves, the mirrors showed their fears and doubts, as if they were trapped in the very feelings they tried to avoid.
I don't like what I see. In these mirrors, I'm not myself, or at least not how I want to be. I feel small and scared. I always have this feeling that I'm not brave enough, like I can't do it alone. But then I remember everything we've already done. Every challenge we've faced together was hard, but we got through. And I know that, even though I feel small now, our friendship is bigger than any fear. And, even though we have doubts sometimes, it doesn't matter. Our light always shines and helps us move forward.
That's right, Sally. When I see my reflection, I also feel like I'm not as strong as I should be. But then I think about everything we've accomplished. We didn't get this far because we're the biggest or the strongest. We got here because we believe in ourselves. Each of us has had doubts, has felt fear. But that doesn't mean we can't move forward. The forest is showing us something important. Our true strength isn't in how things look, but in how we feel. And as long as we stay together, we are stronger than anything these mirrors can show us.
As the friends spoke, the light in the circle of roots grew stronger, wrapping them in a warm glow. Suddenly, in front of them, an enormous, shining tree began to form. Its branches were made of pure light, stretching out as if they wanted to embrace them. It was a beautiful and powerful sight.
You have shown that you understand. The forest has seen your bravery and felt the strength of your friendship. The secret you sought is not something you can touch or see. It has always been within you. This place, this forest, is not just a space full of trees and shadows. It's a reflection of your light and your darkness. And now that you've accepted both, you've found your true power. The test was not to overcome something outside, but to understand what you carry inside. You and the forest are one, and now you know.
The forest has shown us its heart, but it has also shown us something much more important, our own heart. We've discovered that inside each of us is a light that can shine in even the darkest corner. And now that we know it, no matter how many shadows appear, we will be ready. Not because we have no fear, but because we know that, as long as we're together, we are stronger. And with that light, we can overcome any challenge that comes.
With hearts full of gratitude and joy, the friends looked at the tree of light one last time before it slowly disappeared. They knew they had changed. Not just the forest, but also themselves. They were no longer afraid of the unknown, because they understood that, as long as they were together, they could face anything. After discovering the heart of the forest, an air of unease enveloped the friends. The atmosphere, once vibrant and full of light, began to darken, as if a deep shadow was emerging from the depths of the forest. The trees whispered in an ancient language, and the breeze seemed to carry the echoes of old fears.
Something isn't right. Why is the darkness returning? This feeling is so cold and heavy that it unsettles me, as if a frozen hand were trying to wrap around me. It's as if the light we've found is being consumed by something evil, and with every passing second, I feel hope slipping away a little more.
Because we have yet to face our greatest challenge. This is the final test that the forest presents to us, an opportunity to demonstrate our growth and courage. Only by confronting our shadows can we find the light we truly need. We must remember that darkness is not just an enemy, but a part of ourselves that we need to accept and understand.
But we are not alone. This time we know how to face it. We've gone through so many trials together, and each one has made us stronger. Our strength lies in the unity and trust we have built among ourselves. We will not face this with fear, but with the power of our friendship and everything we have learned. We are ready for whatever comes our way, and together, we can overcome any obstacle.
Suddenly, a dark figure emerged from the depths of the forest, and the air grew heavy with an aura of desolation. Its presence was palpable, and an unsettling silence filled the space. The friends felt their hearts beating strongly as the shadow began to whisper, attempting to destabilize them.
You cannot escape me. I will always be with you, lurking in every corner of your mind. I am your doubts, your fears, a constant reminder of your fragility. No matter how far you try to run, I will always be here, reminding you of what you fear and what you think you cannot overcome. I am part of your story, and you will never be rid of me.
We do not need to escape. We have learned to confront you. Each of us has found our courage in the light of our friendship, and that light is a fire that burns bright. This time, we will not let fear take hold. Instead, we will use everything we have learned and the strength we have found together to face the darkness head-on.
We are no longer afraid like we used to be. We have faced challenges that have made us stronger and wiser. What once paralyzed us now empowers us. The shadow may try to scare us, but we know we can always rely on each other, and that is what makes us invincible.
Our friendship is stronger than your words. We are not just friends, we are a family united by love and trust. Your voice will not break our bond, our laughter, our memories, and our shared dreams are more powerful than any shadow. Together, we will shine brighter, and we will never let darkness extinguish our light.
Taking a deep breath, the friends closed their eyes, focusing on the light that resided in their hearts. As they did so, a warmth began to spread within them, wrapping them in a comforting embrace. The shadow began to retreat, and a new hope shone brightly, filling the air with positive energy.
Our light is stronger than the darkness. Every ray of light that emanates from us is a celebration of our friendship and the courage we have found on this journey. Darkness may try to drag us down, but we have discovered that when we unite and share our light, we can face any challenge that comes our way.
How can this be? I am part of you. I have been with you in every doubt, in every misstep. You cannot ignore me. I am the echo of your insecurities and the shadow of your fears. I have been here from the beginning, and I will always find a way to return.
Yes, but so is our light, and it is stronger when we are together. Darkness cannot define us. Our experiences, our laughter, and the love we share shine brightly when we unite. The light we have cultivated throughout our journey is a beacon of hope that will always find the way.
Now, together, let us fill this place with light and love. It is time to unite our strengths and let our compassion illuminate every corner. Together, we can transform darkness into a glow of hope. Let us not forget that light and darkness coexist, but today, we choose to shine brighter than ever.